Welcome back, Queen, to another episode of Creatress of Freedom. I am Annie and I am your host, and I am so happy that we are here together having this beautiful conversation. If you are new, welcome. If you are an OG, I love you. Oh my gosh, where the fuck is this year going? It is October. Like, seriously. Can you believe it? Can you believe that we are in October? This year, I feel like I just blinked and I landed in Greece, which was December last year. And like it's nearly a year. It's nearly a year. I've nearly lived a whole year in Greece. What have you accomplished in this last year? Like, I think about that. Like, reflect on that. Like, this year has gone so fast, and everyone's saying that. Everyone is saying that it's fast. So, as a new month has rolled by, I wanted to just like have a conversation about another new month, right? Another new month is here. And so, have you allowed yourself some time to celebrate? Have you allowed yourself some time to celebrate what was last month? And if you haven't had time to celebrate what was last month, maybe here's your invitation to go and celebrate that. Yeah, maybe this is your invitation to pause, and instead of just keep letting each of the days roll into the next and into the next, and then before you know it, we're celebrating New Year's Day, right? Because that's literally how it feels right now. What would it look like for you to create some stillness and to celebrate the wins that you have accomplished? Like, what have you accomplished last month? What did you accomplish the month before? Yeah, there's so much power in creating some stillness before we go and like plan out our next month. And the other thing that I also want to talk about is like actually strategizing, for like your next month of what you want to achieve. But we have to reflect on where we've come from in order to step into the new month, right? And the energy of the new month. There's lots of energy that's happening this month with the full moon and the eclipse and all of that. So if you are unfamiliar with any of the energies that's happening this month, subscribe to my Queen News, which you'll see in the show notes, because you get emails about the energies and how to work with them. I give you little tips and ideas around rituals and ceremonies and journal prompts and latest obsessions and all of the juice you'll find in there. So go and subscribe to that. But, I was sharing this inside my community the other day, and I said to them, like, let's actually reflect on how September went. Like, what is it that you're celebrating? And they were celebrating some really big milestones that were happening for them, like things like one of the babes inside Evolve was like, this is our biggest month for the entire year financially. Another one was like, oh my God, I'm celebrating the whole month. Like, so much has happened this last month that there was like, I feel like I had social life. I feel like I did business. I feel like, she also branched out into mentorship as well, from working with clients and into actual mentorship. And she's like, it's just been amazing. Some had their biggest weeks. Like, it was really a beautiful month for all of us to celebrate. And I even know myself, I had some huge milestones. I went to America and I came home, and that was like super expansive. If you haven't listened to my episode around America, go and have a listen. There was some really, really big takeaways as well, where my mind was just absolutely blown from that. That'll be coming out in the coming weeks. But yeah, it was just such a beautiful, big, expansive month. And so I really, really invite you to grab your journal out and really reflect on these couple of questions, right? So the first question I want you to reflect on is, what are you celebrating from last month, right? That's the first one. And then the next one that I want you to reflect on is, what was your biggest challenge that you faced for that month? And then the third one is, who did you become throughout that month? Because when you learn the law of attraction, everything that you have manifested for whatever it was that you were celebrating, right? All of those big milestones that maybe you achieved, you had to become somebody in order for that to happen. And those are key things in order to move into the next level that we want to step into, because we can take those the person that we become into our next month of what we're planning. And so, depending on when you're listening to this episode, I know that I'm talking about October right now, but this literally applies for any new month. You could literally do this exact same framework, same principle, regardless of whether it's January, February, March, October, none of it matters, right? It's just really about being able to celebrate what's been so that you can call in the new for the new month. And then once you've done that and you've spent some time really reflecting and really anchoring in the growth that you've had for that previous month, then we want to get really clear on what you want the next month to look like, okay? And so when this month rolled around, the night before the 1st of October rolled around, I was laying in bed and I was like, tomorrow is the 1st of October. I didn't have any coaching calls on my calendar. I had a little bit of work that I needed to do, but there could be flexibility. I had some email scheduling. I had some content creation. I had client check-ins. So I had some work to do, but it wasn't time restraint because I didn't have coaching calls. And so as I was laying in bed, I was like, what do I want to feel tomorrow? Because how I wake up tomorrow and how I start my day tomorrow is going to be like my theme for the month, right? And so I sat there and I was laying in bed and I was like, what is my body asking of me? And my body was asking me to get into nature. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I was like, what kind of nature? And like, it came through loud and clear that I needed to like go on some kind of hike. And so I actually reached out to a couple of different friends to see if they were available to do a hike. And everyone was busy. No one could do a hike. And I was like, now it makes sense because I needed to actually do that hike on my own, not with somebody else, because I needed to be in nature. I needed to be reflecting. I needed to be in my own thought process. I needed to not be rushed. I needed to be able to, sit and journal if I had a download come through. I needed to be able to drop into the Evolve Slack channel if I had this epic download that needed to be shared, and when you're with other people, I couldn't necessarily do that. So hindsight's a wonderful thing where we can look back and can connect the dots. So I'm grateful that no one was able to come. But in the moment, I was like, oh, that sucks. You guys all suck. But anyway, I was like, no, I'm still going to go on my own. And so I packed all my stuff, and no matter where I go, I always take a deck of cards. I always take my journal, and I always take some kind of incense so that I can kind of clear the energy if I feel called to sit at a certain space. And so, I had some really beautiful reflections as well along this hike, which I was sharing with them inside my community. And, I had a map. So I've been using if you're a hiker, the All Trails app is incredible. It's so cool. I highly recommend it. So I had the map I wanted to walk along the coast and like see some sights and just like really see some amazing stuff. And so there was supposedly some sea caves and all of that. And so I had the map and I was like following the map and it was like all going good. But I found myself almost becoming attached to this map, right? And as I was becoming attached to the map, I was forgetting about the magic that was like literally just in front of me. I was forgetting that my intuition could actually guide me into the most magical and beautiful ways and different things that maybe the map wouldn't actually show me. And so I had the map, but then I also was trying to be mindful of not following the map to a T. And, if I came to a cross section or whatever, I'd be like, which way does my intuition want to take me today? Because I know that my intuition is so strong and I have really built the deepest connection with my intuition over the last few years that I know she never leads me off the straight path. She always guides me to the most magical, incredible experiences, places, things, sites, you name it. She never fails me. And so I've learned to really trust her. And so I finally get to like the kind of area where I knew that I needed to be. And so I stopped using the map. And I found the most magical spots that held really, really beautiful energies. The views were spectacular that I wouldn't have got if I stayed on the map because the map was not going down these paths. And so I just had these beautiful like reflections of like, yes, this is so good. This is so good. And as I was like wandering around, I put my bag down and I started jumping around and looking around on the cliffs at the edges of the water, and just sat in certain spots and just really soaked up the vastness of the beautiful Mediterranean Sea, and really looked at the cliffs that went down and into the water, and the water was so clear I could see the fish swimming, and I just was just being, and it was bringing me so much joy, like so much joy. I felt like I was a little kid exploring, is how I felt. And I was like, looking under rocks and picking up rocks, and I was in my element, honestly. It was so beautiful. And then I kept walking along the coast, and then the coast track was going to start to head back into like the next little village, and it kind of looped back around. But I didn't want to go into the village. I wanted to stay along the coast, and I really wanted to absorb the energy of being really close by the ocean. And so I started to head on back along the coast again. And now I was seeing it from a different perspective, right? Because now I'm looking back. And so as I was walking, I was thinking about this, and I was having all these epic downloads come through. And I was like, how often we think, oh, we've been there, done that, and we don't necessarily try it again. And I would have missed out on all this magic if I didn't turn around and come back and see it from a different perspective, right? And so I feel like this shows up in business as well, where it's like, how often do we, first of all, let's talk about the map, right? How often do we get this map or this blueprint that maybe a mentor's given us, and we start to follow the map, and then all of a sudden we're so focused, we've got the blinkers on, and we're so narrow-minded with what we actually want that's going to light us up, right? And we start following this track, and it's like, oh, this is okay, I guess, like it's leading me to a destination, but like, you're not really feeling it. So what if we had the map for business, right? But we also allowed ourselves to intuitively go off the map, to intuitively go, you know what, actually, I want to try this. To intuitively go, you know what, actually, maybe I don't want to be on Instagram for the next week, and I just want to try that. That feels really good. Or maybe it's, oh, you know what, actually, I want to start bringing these services in. Or actually, maybe I want to start offering this. Maybe I want to start doing women's circles. Maybe I want to build out an online course for my clients. Maybe I want to start doing memberships. Maybe I want to change my business hours, right? And allow yourself to play. Allow yourself to bring the fun into the business again, instead of sticking with the map. Because yes, we can give you a map, and this also goes for me. Like as a mentor, yes, I can give you the map, I can give you the blueprint, but I also want you to feel into it. And if it's not feeling good for you, then use that as a beautiful sign to shift and change and start to listen to yourself, because that map is what works for me, right? And you are completely different to me. And so, yes, it might work for you, but it might not feel good. And there's no point in creating a business that doesn't feel good. So I loved this analogy that was like coming through for me as I was doing this hike. I was like, wow, this is exactly the same as business. And the moment that I got off the map and I started just doing my own thing and I started playing was when I got so much joy. And remember that the highest frequency that we can tap into that attracts all of our desires is joy, right? Joy and love. They are the top. Joy, love, and gratitude. They're the top three things, feelings and emotions on the frequency chart that we can tap into that help us become a magnet for everything that we desire. So if in your business you can start to find the joy, the love, the gratitude, you're going to start to attract everything that you want, whether that's clients, whether that's money, whether that's new ideas, new inspirations, new opportunities. You're going to be able to create all of that for yourself because you are choosing to be the vibration and the frequency of what you need to be in order to attract it, right? And this goes back to, remember when I said at the start about celebrating your last month, and who did you have to become, right? Who did you have to become? So for this next level that you want to step into for the following month, who again do you need to become? What do you need to feel? Yeah. And so that was like the theme that I was going to start to take through for this month of October. My month of October is all about I want to feel more joy. I want to feel more fun. I want to bring like zest back into my business. I want to start sharing from my heart again. I want to stop focusing on all of the things that everyone's telling me that I need to do. And I want to do what I want to do. You know, I was having a conversation with this really, really successful woman. She's got like, I think she's got like 200 and something thousand followers, right? And we were chatting in the DMs, and she was giving me some feedback on my Instagram. And she was like, you know, I don't really know like what it is that you do on your Instagram. And I think that you should niche down. And I think that you should start focusing more on just being a bit more specific. And, you know, I was like, thank you. I really appreciate that feedback. Yeah, I'll sit with it. Anyway, I sat with it and I was like, that feels boring as fuck. I was like, that does not light me up. Like, niching down, like, ugh. I'm a multifaceted woman who has experienced multiple things. I feel like I've lived 1,000 fucking lifetimes, honestly, on this earth. And I have a lot to share, and I have a lot of experience, and I have a lot of wisdom, and I have a lot of knowledge. And I'm damned if I'm going to box myself in because that's what's worked for you, right? And so again, this comes back to this map, right? Of like, yes, this map might be really, really amazing for that person, but it might not be amazing for me, and that's okay. Yeah, and that's okay. And so that's also your permission of, yes, you might be given the blueprint, you might be given the map, you might be getting advice from other people, but if it doesn't feel right for you, don't do it, right? Don't do it. And don't give your power away to think that just because of the amount of followers that they've got or the amount of money that they're making, that you should be following that, because maybe that's the formula that's for them. And maybe that's not the formula for you. Yeah. So here's your permission to just do what you fucking want to do. Start to bring more joy into your life. Start to do more things that bring you joy and happiness and gratitude and love, so that you can become the match for everything that you desire. So now we're sitting at a new month. Grab that journal out, and I want you to write, what do you want to feel for the month? Right? What do you want to feel? Do you want to feel alive? Do you want to feel inspired? Do you want to feel what are some other words, like love? Do you want to feel joy? Do you want to feel happiness? Like, do you want to feel excited? Like, how do you want to feel for this month? And then once you've reflected on how you want to feel, then what do you want to achieve? Right? And I want you to get down and dirty with this, right? I don't want you just to stick on surface level of, I want to make $5,000 this week, right? Like, I want you to get into the deepness of it. Like, yeah, you might want to make $5,000, but why? Like, I want to make $5,000 so then I can go and splurge on myself, and I can have a massage, or I can take myself away for the weekends. Like, go deeper. Like, why do you want these things? What's that going to do, right? It's like, well, and then once I have that weekend away, like, that's going to help me tap into how I want to feel. Yeah. See how it flows into each other. And then the last one is, who do you have to become in order to achieve what you want to achieve? And maybe that means that you have to become someone that holds firmer boundaries. Maybe you have to stop self-abandoning yourself. Maybe you have to stop saying yes to the things that you actually want to say no to. Maybe it means that you need to get your diet a little bit more healthier so that you can stay focused. Maybe you need to get some more movement happening. Maybe you need to sleep more, right? Like, whatever it is, like, who do you have to become in order to achieve this? And you can use this framework for every single month. This is what I do every single month. This is how I have created this life, because I become very intentional with the space and the time and the day, right? Time's an illusion, but time's going to go whether you like it or not. So you might as well become intentional about the life that you actually want to create, instead of just letting each month pass by and then playing the victim and being like, well, I don't know why I'm still not achieving the things that I want to achieve. Okay, cool. How much did you actually plan out? How much did you actually spend just being? Yeah. How much did you actually spend creating what you wanted to create? And if that answer is nothing, you just worked on clients or you just focused on the business, then that's probably a pretty good indication as to why each month just keeps rolling past and you're not actually progressing and evolving and getting to the next levels that you want to get to. So here's your invitation to, even if you're listening to this episode and it's halfway through the month, like you can start at any time. Remember, time's an illusion. If you're listening to this episode, there's a reason why you're listening to this episode. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. So grab that journal out and it's time to reflect on what's been. And then it's time to step into who do you need to become in order to achieve the next part of your evolution. If this was supportive and you loved this, come and let me know. If you are setting goals and you want to be held accountable, come and let me know. I would love to hear from you. I love it when you guys drop into my DMs and share with me episodes that you've listened to. So please, please, please do that. If it's been supportive for you, if you desire to work together, you will see in the show notes that there is a few different ways that we can work together. There is a upcoming event in Melbourne, Victoria, specifically for salon owners. It's a 2-day event. You'll see the link in the show notes. Go and have a look. There's limited spaces. It's very small. It's very intimate. It's all about being able to plan and strategize as a business owner for build the momentum ready for the new year to roll over, but also to maximize on your December sales and not have to hustle or overbook yourself. And then the second day is all about your team and being able to bring your team so that they can be supported, so that they can break through any limiting beliefs, dissolve any blocks that they might have around retail, around increasing client spend, around stepping into new levels of leadership for themselves or different roles. And it's a specific day that is specific for team members. So if you have any questions about that, please come and let me know. But I'm super excited to come and squeeze you in person. Like, oh my gosh, it's going to be amazing. It's in November 2024. You'll see the show notes below. So please go and have a look. And if you have any questions, you can come and DM me. And then we also have Evolve as well. And then we also have opened up our new retreat here in Greece as well. So the retreat is in May next year and September. There is 2 dates. You'll see the link below in the show notes for all of the information. It's currently early bird as well. And oh my God, I can't wait to see who feels that deep call to come and visit this island and spend some time in a retreat setting with me and do some deeper inner work, but then also get out and play and explore and have fun and see what this magical island has to offer. So they're the main things that are happening right now. And then there is also a new mastermind as well that is being released. So depending on when you're listening to this, we actually kick it off in December. It is called the 1%ers, and it is for the woman that feels like she's the black sheep of the family, but she's actually the one that is here to make the biggest impact in the world. And she wants less about the strategy. She's kind of invested in her growth quite a fair bit along the journey, but now she really wants to be seen in a small community where there's big collaboration that's happening, where we can really pinpoint the blocks that are happening for you and we can collaborate together and really expand together as a collective. It's only for 5 women. And so if this is something that you sound like you want to be a part of, then come and shoot me a DM as well. Depending on when you're listening to this, it might not even be launched yet, or maybe it is launched. It's happening in the background. So I'm super excited to be able to offer that for, women that are looking for that high touch space, because something that I am noticing in the industry, and even as a student myself, is that these containers are getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you're often feeling like you're not getting the support that you really desire, that you need, without, this ridiculous high price tag. And so I want to bring that back a little bit and really be able to have the women high, powerful women come together that are here to make an impact, that have invested a little bit in their spiritual growth, their strategy growth, and their mindset growth, but are now really understanding the importance of collaborating with other powerhouse women and all bringing our strategies and our ideas together so that we can grow collectively as a small, intimate group. So I'm really, really excited about that as well. So if the link is not in the show notes for that, because maybe I haven't launched it yet, please come and DM me and we can have a conversation about whether that is a suitable fit for you. All right, my babe, have a beautiful day, and I will chat with you so soon. Thanks for tuning on in. I hope you have a fabulous month wherever you are at in the month. Talk soon. Bye.